This is variation 2, day 1. You're going to have your athletes in lines with 2 cones separated 30 yards apart. Have your athletes walk out till they have space to be able to lay down on the ground. Then they'll lay on their stomach, arms are going to be overhead, and we're going to start with their hand behind the neck, prone T-spine extension. So their hands are going to be behind their head. He's going to lift up his head, elbows, and chest as far off the ground as he can, and he's going to hold for 20 seconds. You'll have your team do it as a group, and you'll count to 20 in your mind and tell them when they've got 3 seconds left. Come around, cue people to get a little higher, pull their elbows up towards the ceiling a little more, and then I'll say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At which point they'll stand up and jog out the rest of the 30 yards. Then they're going to perform a light skip down and back. This is just to wake up the main pattern of the day. Usually we'll alternate between skips, gallops, and bounds as our main dynamic pattern that we're stressing. Then he's going to go into a lateral bound. A lateral bound, always have them face the same wall. In the lateral bound, he's going to drive off his back leg, catch on his front, switch his feet, and repeat. So it's really about the back leg driving off, trying to cover distance with each drive. Okay? Then we're going forward leg swings. So you'll have your athletes walk out until they have space between each other. Standing on one foot, they're going to swing their leg back and forth 10 times. And then they'll switch feet and swing 10 times on the other leg. They can only swing as high and as hard as they can control the balancing of. When they're done, have them stand there until their line is done, and they'll jog out the rest of the way. Then we're going to skip for 50%. This will be for distance today. It can either be height or distance. But when we skip or gallop or bound for distance, I always remind them, you still need to get some height to have enough air time to gain the most distance that you can. 50% is when it should just be obvious that you're skipping for height or skipping for distance. Right? Then we're going to go into a reverse bound, down and back. You're going to lean forward more than you would with a back pedal, and you're going to kick out behind you, trying to gain ground with each step. Have this be done down and back, gaining ground with each step. Then they move into a hip external rotation stretch. He's going to grab his foot, pull it up as high as he can, take a step, and perform it on the next leg. Have them only perform this for 10-15 yards within their stretch zone, and then they'll jog out the rest of the way, but don't let your athletes walk in between stretches. Okay? Now we're going to skip 75% for distance. 75% is where I want to see a pop off the ground. I want to see you actually push yourself and propel. He's going to propel for distance, down and back with our main dynamic drill of the day. Then we're going to go into reverse pogos. Reverse pogos. So on 2 feet, going backwards, he's going to pop off of his ankles. A pogo is a primary ankle-driven movement, and so his knees can bend, but you don't want to see a lot of squatting occur. You want to see most of the movement occurring from his ankles. And with all pogos, they should be staying on the balls of their feet the whole time. We're then going to go into a lunge with forward reach. So they're going to take the biggest step forward they can, reach forward, and then try to stand up through that front leg. I don't want to see them kickstand off of their back foot. This really makes them have to get comfortable in that forward lunge position, and then they'll jog out the rest of the distance. Now we're going to go into skipping at 90% for distance. 90% is where I want to see the real sauce occur. Not only do they have a high propulsion off the ground, but when they land, I want them to get right back up off the ground as quick as they can. Then we're going to go into an alternating B-skip. This is where he's going to perform a B-skip on his right leg with then a couple step shuffle and then a B-skip on his left leg. Alternating every leg after a couple step shuffle. With those B skips, they should stay tall, knee should drive up, legs should kick out, foot should snap down. Then you're going to have your athletes walk back out till they have space to lay down on the ground again. They're going to lay down in a side plank with their top foot in front. They're going to move dynamically and rotate their shoulder joint as they try to reach through and under their body. Their chest should face the ground at the bottom of the movement, both shoulders being flat with the ground, and then they should rotate back up for their hand to be up towards the ceiling. They'll perform 10 on one side and then 10 on the other. After that, they're gonna go into a full squat, putting the tip of their elbow against the tip of their knee, and they're gonna push their knees apart and then bring their elbows together. Push their knees apart, bring their elbows together. This is just help warm up the bottom of that squat position. Their feet should be flat on the ground the whole time.